Hello again everybody and welcome back to Rattlesnake Canyon. Mike here again, and today I'm going to do something that I've been wanting to get onto for a little while. A little bit of an animal video, a bit about husbandry and a bit about the particular species. So I'm going to start out with one of our rear-fanged, mildly venomous species, and let's fetch him out of the cabinet now and I'll show you what we're talking about. So here we have a young false water cobra, or Brazilian smooth snake for another one of their common names. This is Cyclograss gigas, formerly known as Hydrodynastes gigas. Very nice species, generally quite placid, although they can go through phases where they are quite flighty. They do have the ability to not technically hood up like a real true cobra does, but they flatten the ribs at the top of the neck and glide around with those flattened to give the appearance of a hood. As I said, they are rear-fanged. Their venom is mild. People do sometimes have very bad reactions to it. People say that you need to be chewed on heavily by these to get the venom into you. It's something which I would always say you need to exercise caution with. They're not, because of that, something which we'd recommend as a necessarily beginner snake or for a snake with children for definite. They can reach around 7 to 8 foot for females. Males are normally around 4 to 5. As you can see, this little fellow is nice and placid. He came into us before Christmas and he's now eating mouse fluffs quite happily, feeding on a weekly basis at the moment. Adults, females I've had in the past have been up eating as large rats. Males usually around a large rat wing or a small rat. Now, given their adult size and the fact that they are quite an active species, they do want large housing. A male would need at least a minimum of a 4 foot by 2 by 2, preferably a 522, or even a 622. Female, because of her potential size, would be looking at least a 622. Temperature wise, they want to be low to mid 80s, with a relatively high humidity. They do like moisture. I usually keep these on either orchid bark or cocoa husk. The Repti block is a brilliant substrate for that. With a large water bowl. They do like to bathe and they do like to sit in the water at times as well. It's always recommended these days, we're doing it with everything, to add a UV light with them. So the standard UV that's being used these days is the Arcadia Shade Dweller. You could potentially, even on a larger enclosure, use a 6% tube on the Arcadia Pro T5 kits. As I say, they're generally decent temperament, but I would always recommend, certainly with a larger one who may be a little bit more flighty, to get yourself some hooks. Hooks with anything which is classed as venomous in any way, whether it's rear fanged or obviously front fanged, are an essential piece of equipment. I use hooks for all sorts, and we sell a nice range of hooks from, they're around about 12 inches long up to about 5 foot long, so it depends on how big a snake or how much space you're working with. Now, hopefully that's given you an insight into the false water cobra. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them, and look forward to giving you some more husbandry information on other stuff. There you go, you can see that little beauty there sitting quite nicely around my fingers, even though today is feeding day. He's not showing any inclination for any aggression at all. Thanks guys, see you soon.